What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our SEC channel. We're going to give you an early projected record here for the Arkansas Razorbacks for the upcoming 2024 season. Before we get to the 2024 projections, let's look back at some of the projections from 2023. Here were some of the projections for Arkansas in 2023. So they were 4-8, obviously a very disappointing season. Our projection had them at 7-5. I predicted them to go 7-5, and Athlon predicted them to go 7-5. The over/under, you could have found that at 6.5 or 7. So this is a team that had pretty high expectations, was expected to at least comfortably get to a bowl game, and of course 4-8, a very disappointing season. We'll see what the projection looks like for this year. Again, here's the schedule, and this is the scale that we use. If it's under 20, over 80, if it's in the red or in the green, those are games that are pretty much guaranteed wins or losses. 20-29, 71-80, those are games where the spread, your spread's going to be double digits. A team's going to be a clear favorite by a decent amount. And then 30-39, 61-70, games where the spread's going to be closer to a touchdown. You're going to have a clear favorite, but a game that you could definitely see a team losing, the favorite losing, and then your 50-50 games in the white, 40-60%. These are games that could really go either way. So you start with the easy wins. You've got Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Louisiana Tech. I believe these are games where Arkansas will be favored by 20-plus points, and I think that they should have really no problem at all in either one of these games. I'm going to put UAB in the blue just because this is a pretty good team from the group of five, and Arkansas is not expected to be a powerhouse by any means in the SEC this season. So I think that's one you could put in the blue. I think Arkansas should be favored in this game by 14 to 16 points, kind of in that range. But it wouldn't be a shocker if they were to lose, but it would be a really big upset. So I'm going to put that game in the blue. And if you think UAB is going to be a pushover and that should be in the green, well, I can tell you it really wouldn't even affect the projection anyway. So they would still get the same projected record at the end of the day. All right, you've got 4 games here in the yellow, and these are games where I think Arkansas will definitely be an underdog. But it's not going to be impossible for them to win these games. Oklahoma State on the road will be very, very tough. Texas A&M, probably the most likely win for them out of these 4 games, just given that rivalry. Tennessee and LSU will be very tough. These teams should be much better than Arkansas. But home field advantage for Arkansas makes it to where they shouldn't be a huge underdog. We're talking 7, 8, 9 points probably in those 2 games. But yeah, again, Texas A&M is probably the most likely win for Arkansas out of these games, and I'd say Tennessee and LSU probably going to be the toughest for them. Oklahoma State, obviously that one's going to be tough as well on the road. But those 4 games, definitely games where Arkansas will be an underdog. Maybe some of these wind up in the orange. Maybe they're double-digit underdogs in some of these games. We'll see once we actually get into the season and find out how good these teams are. Again, I just use a tier system, ranking all the teams, and it's based off of last year and then basically what the teams have coming back. So just a quick projection of each team. And Arkansas is, for example, they are a tier, actually 2 tiers below Tennessee and LSU, but because those games are at home, that's why it's in the yellow and not in the orange. All right, we've got Ole Miss, Texas, and Missouri. These games all in the orange. These are games where Arkansas is going to be a pretty big underdog, probably at least 2 touchdowns. Good news again, you get Ole Miss and Texas at home. So, they have opportunities. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, all going to be very tough opponents, but they get them all at home. So maybe they can pull off an upset or 2. It's, again, going to be really, really tough, but you never know. Missouri on the road will also be really tough. That's kind of become a rivalry there, so you never know what you're going to get. But, last year I thought it was going to be a little bit closer, and it was not. So that'll be a tough one for Arkansas. Really, you look at these games, they're going to be underdogs. I think clear underdogs in 7 games. So that means if they don't pull off a big upset, they're not going to make it to a bowl game. And even Auburn and Mississippi State, these are considered 50-50 games, but they'll probably be underdogs in both of these games as well, playing them both on the road. So if they don't pull off even a slight upset, they could go 3-9. So yeah, it's a really tough schedule, really, really tough schedule, and there just aren't many easy wins on the schedule. Again, you've got 3 where they're going to be clear favorites, but every other game, it's a good chance that Arkansas is an underdog in every other game. Again, Auburn and Mississippi State, maybe it's not a huge underdog. Maybe they're 3 or 4 point underdogs in those games, but still, I think they will be underdogs. And again, very, very tough for Arkansas to get to a bowl game this year unless they are a lot better. It's just a brutal schedule. At the end of the day, this is just a very, very tough schedule. And they don't even play Alabama or Georgia. I mean, it's still really tough with Ole Miss and Texas and Missouri and LSU and Tennessee. It's just a really, really tough schedule. So what's the projection? Well, Again, they're going to be underdogs in all these games, but the odds would tell us. So anytime you have 3 games in the yellow, the odds would say you're going to pull off an upset in one of those 3 games. So that means they would win one of those games. They would pull off an upset against, or they would split the 50-50 games, Auburn and Mississippi State. And then with 3 more games in the orange, another game in the yellow, we put all those games together. Maybe they find a win there. And again, the projection is 6-6. So they are projected to go 6-6. I think the number was like 5.9. So closer to 5-7 than 7-5, but again, comfortably 6-6. Upsets happen in college football. The odds say that they're going to happen, and we'll see if Arkansas can pull some off. Personally, I think it's going to be tough to get to 6-6, but maybe they can get it done. What are your thoughts on this team? What are your projections? Let me know down in the comments below.